Hello, beautiful being. Welcome to In Her Dreams and welcome to your reading. I am so grateful that you're taking time to tune in to see what messages are flowing in from Spirit for you. Ashe. Thank you, Spirit. Alright, let's go ahead and begin with the Empath Oracle. See what's coming through. Thank you, Divine. What message is coming through for this beautiful being? Examining self-identity. There are things that you're considering about yourself that perhaps you didn't allow to step to the forefront of your mind before. Things that you put on the back burner when you would think about who you are, when you would make decisions for yourself. If you were considering what move you were going to make, what step you were going to take, there are certain aspects of yourself that you didn't consider before. 111 on the timer, but now you're seeing yourself in your entirety. And that's almost impossible to do because you have such an expansive self. You are the universe, right? But you're considering all that there is. You're opening your mind, your heart, to feel aspects of yourself that perhaps before you were shut off from, for whatever reason. Could have been because there was pain there. Could have been because there was a thought that had been planted in your mind from years ago that a certain aspect of yourself was not acceptable, or that it wouldn't be admired by others. Okay, now you're like, F that. You're choosing to love yourself, and one way in which you're loving yourself is you're looking at yourself as a whole and not trying to determine what parts of you are appropriate and which ones are not, you know. I'm getting society, family, expectations. Also, there's something here about judging oneself based on other people's reactions. So, taking data based on the way that other people have reacted to you, and assuming that because people have reacted to me this way, they don't like that, so I'm going to shun that part of myself. It really is about like opening up to your shadows, whatever parts of yourself you have put in the corner because they were naughty, or they weren't liked by others, or maybe it was something about yourself that you felt like didn't receive congratulations or praise from other people. Yeah, you're looking at the whole self, and this is bringing things into balance for you. This is card 22. This is resulting in a deep sense of self-love and awareness. Yeah. Thank you, Spirit. What else is coming through for this beautiful being? I keep getting the vibe of grief. There may be something that you're grieving. Now, I know that a lot of times when we talk about grief, we instantly think about losing someone, like in the physical realm. Grieving the fact that someone has crossed over, which can be mourning as well, you know, mourning the loss of someone in the physical realm. But I'm getting here, like, it could be that. It could be grief over someone crossing over, but it feels like grief over a betrayal. And that could tie into this self-identity card, because there may have been something about you that someone did not accept, or there may have been some sort of excitement that you invested in someone, or some hopes that you invested in someone, and that person or that situation did not react or respond in a way to you that was accepting or that was loving. I'm hearing it was not based in love. And I'm also hearing it was not based in self-love. So whoever this was that rejected or betrayed this part of you, they were not acting out of self-love, like for themselves. So when they hurt you, they hurt themselves. When they betrayed you, they betrayed themselves. Something was coming through to me in meditation last night, and that was regarding betrayal. A very healing energy to connect with is Mother Earth, because there is no other being that has been betrayed as much as Mother Earth has been betrayed. Whether consciously or unconsciously, most humans have betrayed Mother Earth in some way. And yeah, we know industrialization has done so much to eradicate our sense of respect for our planet, for Mother Earth. And when you think about the level of awareness that we have now of the impact that the way that we live has on the environment, and how a lot of people just seem to not care. They'd rather put that out of their minds and hurt Mother Earth anyway. She's only our mother. She's only where we live, where we reside. So there's something about that there where it could have been that someone knew that they were betraying you. They were aware of it, but they didn't have the level of care that they needed in order to step up and see to it that your feelings, your energy was respected. And so I just glanced at my Cancer poster. There could be Cancerian energy here. Doesn't have to be, but this could also pertain to a home. Okay, since it's Cancerian energy, to a home or to a mother. Okay, to a family. Yeah, there's something here about connecting with Mother Earth and allowing her to heal you and nurture you through this pain of betrayal or this grief, and in turn doing something for her to nurture her as well. There's healing in that process of reciprocity, like reciprocal healing for you from Mother Earth and healing for Mother Earth from you. You can heal each other through this, because she definitely understands what it is to be betrayed. Thank you, Spirit. What else is coming through for this beautiful being? New vision. Ooh, I love this card. Because I'm getting like the cosmos behind them, this fire almost underneath them, but also earth energy here sustaining you, which is what was just coming through about Mother Earth, sustaining you, supporting you. But then also it becomes this like fiery sun energy. I say fiery sun because it's yellow. I'm not seeing a lot of orange. There is some red there though. And look, it almost looks like flames So it's like the support that you receive. And there's a person underneath here. They're like kneeling. Yeah, I feel like that's Mother Earth supporting you. It could also be your former self. Your former self. There are experiences that you've been through that provided a foundation that you couldn't have gotten any other way but to just go through them. You went through them. But just like the rising phoenix with those flames there, you have risen from those ashes and you've become renewed. And because of that, you are one with the cosmos. You're able to connect and communicate with cosmic energies and entities and the divine. And that not only provides stability with this triangle there, but completion with this circle. Yeah. Examining self-identity. It's like looking at your past self and your current self and being at peace because of that with your future self. There is no need to worry. That's a direct message coming in from the divine. There is no need to worry. You have everything that you need. You are everything that you need to be. You've proven this. There's something here about compromise. There could be a situation right now that's begging you to compromise. And I just glanced at my lapis lazuli. This is truth. This is truth. Tell us more about this, divine. About this situation or being or entity that's expecting this beautiful being to compromise something about themselves. Please clarify this. Break the chain. Ancestral patterns, healing, rewriting the future. Ooh, and divine was just talking about how there's no need to worry about your future because what you've been through in the past and the strength that you have in the present, the awareness, has already set you up for a bountiful, and I'm hearing accurate future. So your future is destined, yes. But you know, we have free will, right? We have free will. And so there's somebody who sees, or it could even be a work situation, like an entity, right? But it's very clear that you are on the right path. But there's something or someone here that's trying to steer you away from what they already have evidence of you being on the, I'm hearing a choo-choo train. You know, it's like moving forward, like Thomas. Okay, somebody's name could be Thomas. But Thomas, the train, he was very, wasn't he very like, he kept going. He never gave up. I can't remember if there was something that he would say, but I feel like I used to watch that with my oldest son when he was little, but it's been so long ago. But I feel like he was just very persistent and he never stopped going. He didn't give up. So that's how I'm seeing you, is you're moving forward very consistently and with a great amount of effort, but also flow. The effort I'm seeing you put into yourself, into things and beings that you treasure, right? You give effort out of love. Your effort and love are like one and the same. You show love by giving effort. But you don't give effort in the way that like you're sweating and working against things, and no, it's not like that. You're in a very beautiful state of flow. 1444 on the timer. So this is about your temperance, your balance, your ability to alchemize energies. You've achieved that. But this is also about your protection. Because there is something here that's trying to keep you attached to something. Oh, and now we're in minute 15. Like the Devil card in tarot. Trying to keep you chained to old patterns, old habits, old ways. Somebody's bothered or upset that something is no longer set in stone. Set in stone. Well, what did they think was set in stone? They say use this one? Okay. What did they think was set in stone, Divine? What is it that they thought was set in stone? Reminder, don't forget. Somebody didn't want you to forget your past. Somebody wanted you to always remember the way that things were. And they wanted that to be the way that things would always be. However something was done in the past that you've broken that chain, there's somebody who wants that. Well, isn't that always the story? It's like your growth has upset the system. Whatever system this was, it could be a system within a family, a system within a workplace, a system within a community. I am seeing a group of people. I'm hearing a congregation. Some of you may have been involved with a church, or it could have been a coven. Some sort of group. It's a group. It could have been a group of friends. Not all covens have people who are like cloaked and wearing big gems and crystals. I mean, I love my big crystals. I'm not in a coven, but I'm a coven of one. No, it's fine. But a lot of times there are groups that work like a coven where there is a set order. There must be a way to do things, and if you don't abide by that script, okay, there are consequences, okay, even if it just means that that person is no longer allowed in that group. Yeah. Now, a coven could work for somebody. Hey, do what you do. Do what works. Do what's in alignment with your divine path. That's what I'll say. Do what's in alignment with your divine path. But typically, in most situations, groups like that try to govern others don't work out very well for people who are in alignment with the divine path most of the time. I'm not saying that happens all the time, but that's what's coming through here, is that somebody wanted you to do things the way that they've been done in the past. And they wanted your growth to be associated with your willingness to stick to that prescribed path. That's what I'm hearing. It's like a path that somebody had already determined for you. Pre-cut, prefabricated. I'm seeing the difference between like handmade furniture, like it was done back in the day, where you'd have a person who would, I don't know, I've never seen anybody make something like a piece of furniture from scratch, but I imagine it comes from the tree, and then they cut it, and then they chip away and chisel and do whatever they need to do. But now it's like you've got these huge factories that take different materials, whether it's plastics mixed with certain wood-like, it's just, very fabricated, very fake, very phony. These are the words that are coming through. Predetermined, pre-made, pre-cut, prefabricated, mixed in, mixed up. Cookie cutter. 1942 on the timer. Cookie cutter. That's what they wanted for you. But that'll never happen. You're natural. All natural. You're organic. What else, Spirit? Okay, so there's something about a message here. Tell us about this message, Spirit. Fulfillment and confidence. Okay, so when I saw this message card, I was getting divine message. It just feels like this is a message coming in from a divine source. And I don't know why I'm seeing here, like, it looks like glasses here. I don't know, that's what I'm seeing. Okay, that's what I'm seeing. But it's a message that helps sharpen your vision or confirm what it is that you've already seen. There's something here about your fulfillment and your confidence in your ability to fulfill your dreams, your visions. There's something here about your divine ability to align with what's right for you and also be supported, because a lot of times that's the question. It's like, okay, yeah, thank you, Spirit, for this message. I know what I'm supposed to be doing, but can I trust that as I do what divine has already guided me to do? Can I trust that as I do what my gut is telling me to do, that I'm going to be okay? And that's what's coming through here. You will live a fulfilled life, having everything that you need as you do what you are guided to do. Very abundant. And you can be in this present moment confident. I'm getting that confidence in your present moment is extremely important. Yeah, being confident about your future, but you know, your present determines your future. So as long as you're confident in this present moment about everything, even about your past, because that came through here. It was like we saw your past self here as like the foundations that you've built. Those past experiences provided a steady foundation because you're aware. You can be confident in that past, because even things that didn't go your way or how you had hoped that they would go, like there's a certain point where, okay, something doesn't go the way that we plan or the way that we hope it goes. And initially there might be disappointment, there might be anger, there might be a sense of like, damn, you know, it's just like, why couldn't it have turned out better? We ask all the whys and the what ifs and all of that. But then if we allow it, there's a sense of divine peace that sets in. And before we know it, we're like, I'm so glad it didn't work out, because then I wouldn't be where I am now. 23 on the timer, you start to see where the things that you thought were not balanced actually led you to your current state of balance. But you had to go through that to get to where you needed to be. Okay, they're saying go here. They're saying take these two. Bodybuilder and cross. So the cross is about a sacrifice and a release. Doing something that might feel like a sacrifice, but for the greater good. Well, that was the past. In the past, you've sacrificed a lot. But see, what you were doing was you were building those muscles. So those sacrifices served a purpose. And now you have the strength to stretch your body in the way that you need to. I'm hearing contort your body, like a contortionist. I don't know. So there's something incredible that you're able to do that took a lot of skill. It might not even involve body movement, but it's something that you're able to do. It feels creative. It could be something that you did in order to cope at one time, to help you support yourself through a very difficult time. It could have been a time of grief. I'm hearing reawakened grief. So there might be another level of grief that you found yourself going through. What this is going to do is, okay, so let's say you thought that you were completely over grieving over something that happened in the past. This reawakened grief, it's not without a purpose. It does serve a purpose, and it's going to take you to another level of realization and awareness of how that situation, that tough experience that you went through is serving you, how it made you stronger. So it's like realizing another purpose of the sacrifice that you made. There could be something with grief coming through, and then this cross and this image. There could be something that you feel that you lost, that you're grieving. It doesn't have to be another person. It could be, what's coming through there though is if you have experienced the loss of someone in the physical realm, know that they are still with you in the spirit realm. And as long as you're open to it, that communication with them will increase with time. There's a lot that you can do to connect with spirits in that way, but if you're not already familiar with that, okay, some of you already are, but yeah, there's something that you feel that it's like you had to put it to rest, or you had to let it go, or you feel that it left, like it was no longer a part of your story. But there's wealth that you gained in that process of this happening, of this situation happening. Yeah. And this is wealth that will never leave you. You'll have this wealth, this awareness, this abundance in this lifetime and in future lifetimes, in your entire existence. It's abundance that you'll always know and always have. Pisces and Capricorn could be relevant here. Don't have to be, but they could be. Within a few months. So something is unfolding for you within a few months. Whenever you're seeing this. This pertains to your success, not only like, you know, job, money, career, creative endeavor, not just that, but your willingness and ability to shine. I don't usually say that because a lot of people say, let's shine, you know, but sometimes it's just what it is. That's what's coming through. Your ability and willingness to shine as your unique self and your whole self. Literally being grateful to be who you are in all your glory. And that goes back to that first card that came through. Card 22, examining self-identity. Accepting who you are, who you've been, who you're becoming. Accepting the fact that there are parts of yourself that you have not accepted. But you're entering a new phase where you're like, there's no part of myself that I'm leaving behind. You're not abandoning any aspect of yourself. There could have been hesitation there. But there will no longer be any hesitation at all about loving your entire self and being proud of who you are. You're saying to go to this healing grief deck. All over. Okay. Thank you, Spirit. What message is coming through for this beautiful being? What message do they need in this moment? Grief must be witnessed. We all want our life, death, and grief witnessed. This is like honoring your grief. When you witness something, you allow it to be. You honor its existence. You don't try to push it away. You don't try to hide it. You don't try to, I'm hearing dishonor it. There's something about honoring your grief. And that's something that in some societies, I read, this was a long time ago. I need to Google to see if I can find what cultural group this was, but it was a group of people. I know this is so vast, but on the continent of Africa, okay, but it was a cultural group in Africa where it is their tradition to, when a woman loses her spouse, I mean, men should be allowed to do this too, right? But it's within this culture where when women lose a spouse or perhaps a child, they are encouraged to go outside and just scream, yell, cry. And I just think that that's so beautiful, because it allows a time where you can just be with that pain and witness it, acknowledge it, and process it in whatever primal way you need to let it out, vocalizing it, whether it's a cry, whether it's a yell, whether it's a scream. I mean, that's very primal. That's very like, you know, it's not neat. And, you know, we have our little tissues and our little hankies and I'm so sad. You know, it's not any of that. It's just, you know, I'm feeling this pain right now and I am letting it out. I'm feeling it and I'm here with it. And I'm here outside with Mother Earth and the trees and just being. And I've always carried that with me. I wish I had some more of the details of the source I got it from and the actual cultural group that this is, that has done this as a practice of mourning. But I just thought that that was so beautiful. So for me, the takeaway was to create space to grieve. Whether it's you being in the shower and allowing the cleansing energy to cleanse you of your grief and letting the tears cleanse your soul while the water cleanses your body, or whether you go into the bathroom and just yell and let everybody know, I'm okay. You might hear me, okay? But I'm just processing some things, you know? And do what you got to do. Or maybe just give yourself some time to be alone and just cry. Or punch a pillow. You know, the grief might not come through as tears. It might come through as some anger. And also keeping in mind that, you know, also doing what you do safely, right? But keeping in mind that grief does not have to be when we're grieving the loss of someone in the physical realm. It can also be moving on from a relationship or any sort of friendship, job loss, whatever it is that we no longer have in the same way or have, period. Or even if it's betrayal. We have to grieve a betrayal. If it hurts, we need to grieve it. And so there's something here about, yeah, when it says witnessing it. If you're not doing this through a very primal emotion, like crying because of sadness or yelling because of any sort of pain or punching a pillow, you could witness grief by journaling. Or by creating videos. But allowing yourself that time, that opportunity, that space to grieve. Life-changing. It is life-changing. Because in this society, that's what I loved reading about the cultural group that has people go outside and yell, because in this society, and I'm in the United States, we don't create space to grieve. You get some time off from work and then back at it, back in the old saddle. Like, what is that? It's a whole thing. And it doesn't matter if it's grief because of divorce, grief because of being lied to or cheated on, grief because of an emotional upset with a sibling, or, you know, it's like there are so many other types of grief. It's not just when a person leaves this physical realm that's the only time we feel pain, emotional pain. And that's another thing we're getting beyond, is thinking that if we can't see the injury, it doesn't exist. We know that there are pains of all sorts, emotional, mental, and of course physical. So yeah, allowing yourself to witness this process of grief in whatever way allows you to experience it, where you are safe and you're not harming yourself, you're not harming others, but you're giving yourself that time and that space to experience this process and honor yourself through it. Ashe. Okay. I'm guided to this deck. African Gods Oracle. Well, maybe that's because I just told that about what I read about that cultural group. And I'm gonna see if I can research that and figure out who that was, what group that is that does that. Anyway, let's see what's coming through from this deck. Thank you, Spirit. What's coming through for this beautiful being? Waxing moon. May there be light over darkness. It's time to rise and shine. Well, that's the second time shining came through. Ashe. And I love that this is the moon talking about shining, because it's the waxing moon. It's growing. It's becoming full. And so, you know what is so crazy, because in meditation, where that energy came through of grieving, I saw two things. I saw you shining as the sun, as far as like if there are haters around or people trying to keep you bound to something, with that card that someone was trying to keep you bound or keep you in alignment with old patterns that you have moved away from. Your ability to shine your light is what just blocks out that negativity. But within you, you don't always have to shine. Like, you don't always have to be so like radiant. And if you need to go in your bedroom, close the door and scream in a pillow or do whatever, like, you can process this stuff. It doesn't always have to be like, oh, I'm just a light and I'm getting over everything just so beautifully. You don't have to play a role through your grief. And that's like within your private world, right? When it comes to people who try to remain in your energy and get at you and keep you bound, that light that you're channeling from the divine, even in those moments of weakness, we can... Ashe, Delilah. Confirmation. We can draw that light in from the divine, even when we feel that we don't have it within ourselves. We have access to the divine, so we really do have access to it, you see? But I feel like what's coming through is not pressuring yourself to shine 24/7. If you need to cry, if you need to weep, if you need to yell, if you need to mourn, give yourself that sacred space and that sacred time to be able to do that within yourself. That's not something that I would advise doing in front of enemies or in front of people who are trying to find some sort of weakness, you know, weakness, quote unquote. That's what they think the expression of emotions is. But it's just about giving yourself that time to do that so that you can process it and take care of you. And if you're in a situation where you must be around people who do not have your benefit at heart, that's when we draw from that energy from the divine, and we're just radiating that light. And it doesn't mean that we have to be fake about it. And no, it's not about a certain like smile we have to put on or something we have to fake. It's just I can stand here like this and radiate light, divine light, because it's strength. It's the fact that I'm not allowing you or your evil intentions to have me on this ground right now. I'm standing. Okay, that's what that's about. And then we have Ejiogbe. I hope I said that right. Ejiogbe. Your reality is as big as you can dream. Oh, and that's right by the moon card. I love this so much. Ashe. Thank you, Spirit. I love that. And I don't see a lot of people using this deck, so I'm going to put this up. It's the African Gods Oracle. How pretty is that? So vibrant, right? Diego de Ochosi. Ochosi? Yeah, that's the author. Okay. I'm so grateful, Divine, for these messages that came through. Thank you, Spirit, for allowing me to bring them to this beautiful being. And I'm so grateful that you took the time to tune in. Thank you. I hope that you got something great out of these messages, whether it was clarity, insight, support, a reminder here or there, or just some good vibes. I love you. And I wish you peace. I wish you joy and so many blessings. Take care.